Hey, welcome back to the Old Grow Up Podcast. I should be recording a intro after this.
That's okay. Oh no, sorry, I hit the mic.
It's good seeing you.
It's good to see you
This
too.
is our, fifth or sixth time in studio. Probably the fourth or fifth episode, though, because
I was say third or fourth, yeah.
our last recording was too big of a therapy session. We were
It
saying
was beautiful. That's what it was. It was open and vulnerable, but
not something I want my coworkers to see.
I said that we don't give that vulnerability away for free.
No.
Yeah.
That's what you were saying. It was before we recorded. I should have recorded this whole damn thing, but you were saying I should put the Old Grow Up Podcast, the more the therapy sessions, on Patreon, and then I got into the business model of another site. But
but I do feel like there's something about having a little bit of saving the intimacy for the subscribers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it could be helpful.
My problem is with the podcast, there's already stuff out there where I don't want my coworkers to start churning that around.
Yeah.
And if they only want to pay $5 or $10 and get the really good stuff, I'd be really concerned.
But that's when you lie to them. You always
that
lie.
That was for the comedic effect. But then we were saying, I was asking if you understood the business model of OnlyFans, and there's chicks that you get past their paywall, and if I was in their position doing therapy sessions on there, no, you guys are doing the pay-per-view thing. So not only you get behind the Oh Grow Up paywall, you're also paying another $30.
Yes, absolutely. And depending on the severity of the conversation, absolutely, we will charge a different fee.
And you know what? If we double that price, maybe I'll show a little light nudity.
Yeah, do you think that I would tell you the story of my baby daddy shenanigans for free? Oh my goodness. I am a lady.
I think that was now that I think about it, we have more than the Damned podcast. We have the Bomb podcast in there too. So we might actually be up to close to 10.
Oh my goodness.
I remember your Bomb being you're the father of your child.
yeah, that's the biggest.
You had a prison kink for a while.
Yeah, well, I was one of those stupid women that was like, oh, well, he's only nice to me. That's a humble brag, whatever. And, but I loved chaos because that's just what I was used to.
Stay the fuck
you know
away
what I
from
mean?
me.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was so comfortable in chaos because that's kind of where I came from, just constant chaos,
Okay.
So once I took a step back and I was kind of my own peace, I realized I really didn't like chaos, and I was,
once you feel it, truly feel your own peace, what the fuck have I been doing this whole time?
Well,
this is so much nicer to deal with.
And it's just okay, well, and sometimes I can still feel myself trying to rev myself up about something that doesn't matter.
Really?
But then I just kind of have to be in the grand scheme of things, this is not that big of a deal. And it's all temporary anyway. So
See, I noticed myself throttling back and early on is oh my god, I'm misreading this. She's gonna leave. No, just calm down, talk to yourself like a friend. Be like, hey, she has shit to do.
It's fine, friend. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. But yeah, we're getting very counselly again.
There we go.
I bring out the inner child. I apologize.
I think, you're just the local therapist.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I know the last time we saw each other at Vultures, I think we were having a 3-way therapy session because Justin was in there.
Yeah. Well, I do think that I don't know why, but I do think people do feel comfortable sharing things with me, and sometimes
it might be the moody clothes.
I don't
you have
know.
the glasses all black.
Well,
this
I
goth
don't
chick
judge.
understands my angst.
Yes, I've always been pretty goth. I love romantic literature and operas and
you just gotta get
terrible
the dark,
stories.
Makeup going on there.
Oh no, never. I do wear black lipstick often though, but I could never commit that hard to it. Because
the funny thing is you can hide behind the Latin inspiration to that too.
Yes,
They
obviously.
say the goths and the Mexican chicks in high school get along because they have to share makeup. So.
Oh, you know. Well, and we're both talking to the ghosts.
That is true. Was that something de Morte or something? Was it Dia Dos Muertos?
Dia de los Muertos? Yeah. The day after
It took me 2
Halloween,
years to
Day of
pass
the Dead.
Spanish 1, so pardon.
Yes. Well, and that's like, it's way less morbid than you would think anyway. Like, it's more, I do appreciate how, Mexican culture more celebrates and covets death, you know, and the family connection. And, we would try to, maybe covet wasn't the right word, but I do think that's like, we just protect it and we appreciate it together. And there is a longing for, keeping that connection.
I wonder what the background is on that. Did that go back to, because like Europeans showed up and like plague like ripped through. I wonder
my gosh, yes.
Is that when that leads back to?
I'm actually not sure.
Because like if you look at like European Dark Age art, a lot of Grim Reaper shit, a lot of stuff like that. I wonder how far back the Day of the Dead goes in that region, if it's tied to the plague ripping through Central America.
Well, and I'm sure it's I'm sure
there's out on that shit.
There's
hold on.
I'm sure there's like indigenous practices too with it.
It is crazy though seeing how much like morbid artwork came out of Europe, and you're just like, whoa.
Well,
these people had to have
because
seen
there was
terrifying
constant
shit.
death, constant death in all the places. But I do think some people are, just around it way more often, and I have so much compassion for them because it just makes things so much harder.
Aztecs celebrated before the Spanish conquistadors came through. Okay.
Knew it.
It's all
okay.
good.
But anyway, that's not the point.
Just doing my armchair history lesson over here.
No, I'm learning. I don't know everything that I would like to, and I don't think I ever will. But I'm very proud of my heritage and my culture, and I was adopted, so I didn't get to be like engulfed in all of it. But
you have 3 things in your background, right? You have Native American, Mexican, and Black?
Just Mexican and Black.
Okay, gotcha. I don't know why I
thought. I showed you a picture of my great grandma, and she definitely looks indigenous for sure.
Gotcha.
I'm learning. Like I want to learn more about my ancestry, but I just know that they're from Mexico.
Gotcha.
And yeah.
Do you follow UFC?
Not really. And I have a hard time watching it.
Yeah, I understand the violence of it.
Ooh,
but have you heard of the Sphere in Las Vegas? Big, huge.
Yes.
So
the
UFC,
face one.
UFC did a Mexican fight night, and it was all Mexican fighters, but they used the Sphere to show like the history of Mexico.
Yeah.
And then the ring girls, every fight had a different like stage in Mexican history. It was crazy because they also did like a Day of the Dead thing. I'm gonna bring that up. That shit was badass.
I would love to see it. Hey, I have that picture on a sweater.
Of course you do.
I do. I was wearing that last night.
UFC ring girls. Boom. Yeah,
oh yes,
look
this
at that
candy
shit.
skulls. Yes,
that is so fucking awesome.
Yes,
that had to have taken a while too. Yeah, they did that.
It's just so beautiful.
Mexico ring girls. UFC.
I mean,
yeah. So they did all the. I think it was just the main card. We have the Aztec. I think there's like a future blended with Aztec. Like it was badass.
Well, because there's so many different indigenous tribes that are South American as well, and I love that. I love that so much. How it's North American, right, and it's South American. So like some of it bleeds up to Canada, where the ancestry and that kind of unites the people, and I really like that. I think that's kind of like I think Europeans are proud that way, where they're together, even though they're different countries. They're still united in in where they're located geographically. But I'm fascinated by that, and like the the transition to chattel slavery and how that kind of came to be down south, and how it really affected the entire area, and both of my people, and so it's very interesting, And
did you watch Ancient Apocalypse on Netflix? The second season goes off the rails, but they're actually showing how, I think it was Chile. Polynesian DNA is actually down there.
Yes.
So they think that they actually came across and went up.
I believe it. Well, because of the Great Migration, I worked for 23andMe for a short period of time, and they were saying that Native American people have some Eastern Asian from where they migrated, which is very interesting.
We've all known the Bering Strait crossover, but like in DNA, it's possible that would show that actually Polynesian culture and then blending in the middle. Like that had to have been wild.
I admire and adore Polynesian culture so much. Oh my goodness. I think it's fascinating that people from Fiji are just as dark as people from Africa. They're just this beautiful dark brown, and people from from the Cook Islands look so much like Hawaiian people, but they're not. And Tahitians, they have a dance similar to the hula, where they tell their story with the hips. It's not the same, but it's it's just, I think it's beautiful. I love it.
It is crazy thinking how they spread across.
Yes,
we're going across the largest ocean on Earth.
Did you see that? The New Zealand Parliament. There were some Maori representatives, and they did the haka for that.
Whoa,
and I thought, oh my gosh, I was like, that was such a statement. I got all emotional.
I think that's what we need. We need that in the House of Representatives.
We need passion.
Yeah.
Useful.
Also, like the chanting. Passion. Was it the fucking remember what's the name of the rugby team? The All Blacks.
Oh my goodness.
They do that big they do that big chant right before.
It's called the haka, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see something like that in the American government to scare the shit out of people.
At least what I understand. Please don't. please correct me if I'm wrong. But I understand that it's a war dance, and before they would warn their adversaries, and before, and then they would also give an option for peace.
Yeah.
So it was a leaf they would put on the ground, and if you pick the leaf up, then it was cool. But if you were like, no,
fuck your leaf.
It was on like Donkey Kong, and the women were fighting to get you.
Hell yeah. I'm
so,
saying
cool.
You remember, was it the Keystone Pipeline went through indigenous land and everything?
Yes.
Imagine if you had a tribe of people all right, are we doing this shit? And they start jumping around and scaring the shit out of people.
Well, they were doing rain dances and things like that too, and I think that's.
But I'm saying intimidation.
Intimidation.
That's what needs to happen. Some asshole in a
people
suit
don't
comes
like
out.
That.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe we could have stopped the pipeline if some asshole in a suit came up and was like, "Oh, I need to leave before I get my head cut off."
No. How great would that be? But no.
To decapitate a businessman right now?
No, absolutely not. I don't support murder. I'm not a big fan of that.
Been watching the news lately?
I have been. That's wild, Fran.
Imagine if they actually beheaded a CEO. Fran, that'd be intense.
I just don't like that.
That might be something that gets kicked off of YouTube.
Carnage, man, carnage. And it's a difficult thing though, because we take things so personally now, and we are self-problem solvers. It's only been in recent American history that we haven't taken care of business on our own. And for a really long time that was fine. We were just like, okay, well, he handled that problem. The problem.
He did handle it.
The problem was, much like this young man with great eyebrows, by the way, babe. Oh my gosh, represent. But anyway, Luigi.
Those abs are pretty fucking killer, too.
I don't care about the abs. I'm like, you wrote a manifesto, babe.
Well, as a person that's trying to work out, it takes 3 months to grow out really fucked up eyebrows, and then you cut them back real sexy. You know how hard it is to maintain abs like that, and his shoulders.
I don't know. He was eating Mickey D's.
which it begs the question of how intelligent this man really is. It's like, dude, you're on the run and you didn't go through the fucking drive-thru.
It sounds weird. It just all sounds weird, but you know.
But he might have been on the bus too, and they just dumped him off there.
I
think I was in a situation that I would just go pretend I was taking a shit the whole time.
He had money. If he wanted to disappear, I feel like he could have disappeared, and he did for a minute. But maybe the novelty was over. I don't know. Some criminals really don't mind like being caught. Like that's.
I think
if they can get away
gun,
with it
though,
for a while.
With the gun, though, kind of indicates that he might have tried. Because, like, if he's like, okay, I need to ditch all evidence because I'm never going to do this again.
Sure.
If I could throw the gun away. But they found him with the gun.
Yeah, because what if he needed to use it again?
Yeah, it'd be a problem.
That's all I'm saying.
I think it was single shot, though, too. So
maybe. I don't know. But then, you know, there goes that, you know, sometimes they like to keep a memento, and that might be his,
that
like,
is true.
Ooh. But
Did
then
you
just,
follow
why don't you keep a piece of it, you stupid? Anyway, I'm sorry. I shouldn't call you stupid. That's
Did
rude.
you follow John Wayne Gacy? I imagine all the crazy shit you watch. The Killer Clown.
Oh, do I know about
Yeah.
him? Yes, I do know about
They got
him.
halfway through his murdering spree. They like looked in his house and they found all the mementos of the driver's licenses.
Yes.
And he still killed another half of the number. That he
Well,
killed.
at
that's
one
weird. Teenager.
point, the police were in his house, and the heater kicked on.
And that's basically how he got caught.
And they could smell death.
But numerous murders before that, they literally found a driver's license.
Yes, but I don't think he would have felt so comfortable to do that if they hadn't like let it go for that. But they didn't have like, that's the problem with a lot of these things is like, it may look good, but if there's no evidence, like if you don't have solid proof, like that's weird. Ew, don't love that, right? Might be people that he talks to, right? But like, it's not enough for them to be like, he did this. Do you know what I mean? I
don't know if all these missing teenagers.
I agree with you, and I'm like, what are you doing, right? But
like,
I do understand where the cops come from, right? Where they're like, we need, because if you just do that, right, and say he didn't, right? He just like he collected all of them because some other creepy reason.
I think I actually asked him. He's like, yeah, I found it on the ground.
You know, or whatever, you know. And then he didn't end up doing it. He was just a creep.
Yeah.
And then he kills somebody else later. It makes things a little difficult.
I think I'm reading he had 33 or he killed 33.
I'm pretty sure he killed at least 33.
It's fucking wild. And he showed the cops basically his murder the way he does it with the choking.
Well, he was a narcissist.
Yeah. Probably a sociopath too, like because he was trying to take advantage of the social aspects.
And he he had gone to prison before for a terrible.
I think it was with kids.
Yeah, we're not gonna. Yeah, but it was awful what he did, and he spent time in prison for that, and he was a model prisoner, like worked in the kitchen, was a model prisoner, so much to where he was on the news and he was like advocating for healthy eating for the prisoners.
This is the good one, guys.
Yes, friends. Like what?
He's the worst in history.
But I do feel like that makes sense because he could only do that if he had this grandiose personality. Do you know what I mean? It's like Jodi Arias, and she's been in prison, and she murdered her boyfriend. She
serial killer or just straight?
No, just him, and she was famous infamous because she was cute, and but she was also a high narcissist as well, she had killed her boyfriend, and since she's been in prison, she's organized like choir concerts, I guess, and like singing competitions and whatever, and she says she's helping all of the fellow inmates and stuff, and I do appreciate that there is still hope for them, I guess, when they're incarcerated. But it does make me really sad that like that's where you thrive. But you also like you took a life and you found a life that is more manageable for you in prison, and like that just seems
you don't have
so
to worry
unfair.
About bills. You don't have to worry about gas.
You don't have to worry about anything. And a lot of the time, you know, those personalities, they can do it. They just don't want to. They're
I think
aware
the buzzword
of that.
is 3 hots and a cot.
Yes, friend.
There you go.
Yes, friend.
It really narrows down your issues like day to day, you know?
But, you know.
I love how we're frivolously like, yeah, prison's easy because you don't have responsibilities.
I don't think it's easy. I think that for a personality like that knows how to navigate with other personalities like that, it can be something that is more familiar for them.
Gosh.
And being institutionalized is a real thing where, you know, outside freedom is overwhelming. And having too much freedom for some people is not manageable. It is not feasible, and it's not to say anything about their intelligence or who they, you know, but it's just some people can't handle that. We're all nervous, but
and that's kind of the hard thing around the homeless communities down like near Nevada and Las Vegas. The streets.
Super local.
Yeah. Local reference for you Aussies tuning in. How's it going? You see it where it's like, okay, this person, it just can't manage reality. Is either they're completely checked out and they're hallucinating and talking, or they're just angry that the Wendy's bag is like rolling down the street. Like it's,
you know, well, and
it's heartbreaking, really.
But the balance between, you know, mental health and just, it just takes one really bad week for that to happen to you, you know. And so I will say this, though. Our homeless people are willing to commute. So they'll go wherever they need to go. So
maybe
at least they're resourceful.
I should interview a homeless person.
I met one. Okay, so when I worked downtown,
studio equipment.
And there was a homeless man named the Mountain Man. He's a career homeless man. He used to buy his batteries every morning, and I'd give him some coffee, you know. And you know, and it was really cold, and so I was just like, what's up, friend? Like, what's your story? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, I like being homeless, and I'm just passing through town because this is what I do. And I was like, go off, friend. That's your life? All right, then. But he looked like it would not be a problem for him. You know, he was very rugged. He was, you know, but he was also very polite.
Going was it hand to mouth just as soon as he makes the money? He's
Yeah,
feeding
basically,
himself
and he just chose where he was a vagabond, and it was fabulous. I don't know if he had children or whatever. I didn't care. I didn't ask any of those questions.
That's what Johnny Appleseed.
He was
just knocking chicks up and leaving.
Free. Oh.
I think I could be free here during the summer, just find shade, sleep through the warm nights, but
you know,
that winter here, like especially the wind and shit,
freeze to death. Yeah, it'd be a bad deal. Be a bad deal. So make sure that you donate to the Springs Rescue Mission and any other nonprofits in town that are supporting.
Does Nikki have anything homeless, or is that suicide awareness?
That's suicide awareness.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure.
I know
if
she's very community connected.
I know she did feed the homeless a couple Christmases ago.
There you go. I'm pretty sure she mentioned something in that episode. So
yeah, but she does work for the for Pikes Peak Suicide Prevention, or she doesn't work for them, but she does volunteer and she organizes a bunch of events. So she does great work with them. So
trying to get her back on.
You totally should. She's great.
Like I don't know if you paid attention to the numbers since like September. Like I'm getting the fuck out there with like
stuff. That's so exciting.
Before all that, Nikki was like the biggest episode I've had. So it's like,
she got the most views. She's so good.
Let's get her back into this machine that I now actually have pushing out shit. Like,
just see what she's doing.
4 months, 100 subscribers on YouTube. So
very nice.
Yeah, it's
it's
getting out there.
You're growing. Look at you.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Shameless plug.
Well, so for years, let's do it in the middle of the episode too. But it was ElleBlexican
Yeah.
on all the social media.
Yep, on all the platforms.
And then
it's ElleBlexican.
Where'd that come from?
So that's another nickname of mine.
Ellie or just
As L. I'm not too. I wasn't too fond of Leslie, to be honest with you. A whole other story, but I just I had a lot of identity issues with my name. So some of my friends started calling me L, and I was like, I like that because I got 2 L's in my name. So my middle name starts with L.
I think I see where we're going. Okay.
So EL is the first 2 letters of my name switched, and the LE is the last 2.
That's what I hate about finding, like, you want your social media handle to, who you are as a person.
Yeah.
But you also want to confuse the fuck out of people. It's like one of the reasons why the Damned podcast became this shit is everyone tried spelling damned, as you're going to hell.
Yeah.
Instead of like my actual initials. So I was like, all right, let's stop confusing people. Well, this is a bit of a fuck you to a certain situation anyway. Somebody told me to grow up, and I'm like, I am grown up. You just
oh no.
You're
we're not going to do that. So
maturity and responsibility are 2 different things.
Blexican. Everybody thinks that they always tell me how they if I didn't know, they'd be like, oh, so you're Blexican if you're black and Mexican. And when I was like 4, that's what I figured. I figured that out.
At 4 years old?
Yeah, and I was just like, I'm Blexican. What? Yeah.
I feel like that's like a high school vibe, so that's kind of crazy.
No, I didn't really know what to call myself, so.
So you just wanted Blexican.
I'm Blexican, black Mexican, but and both of my sisters are black Mexican. My biological sister and my baby sister.
Are you tight with your biologicals and your?
We all have.
You guys spread out.
We
right?
all have varying connections.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How many y'all are there?
There are 9 of us.
Jesus, that guy was busy.
We're all. See. I just wrote a joke about this. I'm so glad you said this, David.
Johnny Appleseed.
I'm so glad you said this. I would never call your dad a slut in your face. Okay, ever. Okay, 6 of us are adopted. Thank you very much.
Oh, so my line of questioning was asking how many biologicals there were.
So my dad, he had 3 biological children, but none of them are my mom's. She's stepmom.
Okay.
And so she always said that it was just another way that God gives you children, Yeah. And so she never really had a problem with that.
Okay. So yeah, 3's not too bad. 3's not man slut there. And now that I understand that those 9 are, I thought those were all biological. Yeah. Because like the way I read that was
we're not
this
Mormon.
guy.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Lou. I love you. I'm kidding.
Come back on the show. If you came into a state, dropped 9 kids, and then fucked off, like that.
Well.
But some of that is assumption too. Is I'm assuming your dad came in and bounced the fuck out
all the time.
Yeah.
My biological dad was not. He was his own kind of person.
So is Marilyn Manson.
I didn't. I think along with. My dad. My dad is John Fox, but he passed away when I was 20. Sorry, I was 19. And so, like, I kind of had accepted that. I was like, Dad Club. Hey, But my biological father passed away last year. And I didn't know him as a great guy, so, but everybody's journey with him is a little different. Some people were very sad. Some people were apathetic, and
I'm sure when I pass away, there'll be some mixed messages.
just how everybody is, and
the family of my first child is not going to be,
not everybody's always going to be a fan, I'm a child of trauma. So that means at one point I was extremely annoying and I was overbearing and I was an oversharer. So I guarantee you when I pass away, some people are going to be like, thank God.
She stopped talking.
Oh, God. We knew it was going to happen at some point, but thank goodness it happened early.
Fucking A, man.
So what have you been doing with comedy?
This is it.
This is it.
So I've been doing cold plunge, running, and all that shit before work, which
That's
has me
not
waking
comedy.
up.
That's
Well,
Joe Rogan.
It all ties in.
That's the Joe Rogan regiment.
I'm waking up at 4:45 to get all that shit knocked out.
Love that for you.
So by the time the mics open up, I've already been up for 15, 16 hours.
Okay, why couldn't you like do that on occasion and then go to
Because
open mic?
consistency is key.
Okay, friend.
But it's how late open mics are in combination with how early I wake up.
So is
I would like
consistency
to sleep sometime.
you doing it every day?
Monday to Friday.
Okay. Why couldn't consistency be doing it three times a week, every week?
So when I give myself that day off, I'm like,
You're
why
a
not
pussy
another
and
day
you
off?
can't.
Why not another day off? I just fucking.
Well, so you lack discipline.
If it's Monday through Friday, it's okay. This is a weekday.
So, but this is how you trick yourself to not lack discipline.
It's
You have
working with the self-discipline that you have gives you self-discipline.
I see.
So
I understand.
is
so
in the
you have to
context
do
of
it all
Monday
the
through
time.
Friday. If I do it daily, I could do it every fucking workday. If in the context of Monday through Friday, I'm only doing it Monday, Wednesday,
So you
Friday.
would rather
I
do
start
this
struggle.
than practice your material.
Material hasn't been like new in like years, so it doesn't really.
Okay.
There's no struggle with that.
So you want to do this and not stand
Once
up
I get
right
out
now.
of the Air Force, I would love to do both of these. But as
Okay.
of right now, I need my fucking sleep.
Okay.
Because like if I go to Vultures and let's say I didn't show up on time and I'm getting up at 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Will you call and sign up
Yeah.
for that?
Could do that. But we're talking 3 or 4 hours of sleep.
All I'm
on
saying
a
is
Monday
I
night.
feel like this is feasible
Yes.
if you rethink it. But I also think that it depends on what you're trying to do, whether or not that's suitable for you.
What I like with this podcast is it keeps me in the scene's conversation.
Sure.
When I you were there a couple years ago when I was like, yeah, I'm doing 300 mics this year. Da 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 da. Ate shit and disappeared for 18 months. Nobody knew who the fuck I was 18 months later.
I just kind of support whatever you want to do. I think sometimes you tell me what you're telling yourself at the time.
Oh yeah.
But you and I both are similar in how we lack conviction and follow through.
Well, for that one, it's feasibility. I have to fucking sleep. I have to be a productive person at 7 o'clock in the morning.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
I got my munchkin all the time. She's, I'm not missing bedtime. Quote Joe List. Okay. But she's at an age where that's just more important to me than hitting open mics. And at some point when I find the right babysitter or childcare or whatever, I'm sure that I could do more as she gets older. But I do feel like when I had the opportunity to, I did take advantage of that, and I was, at every open mic.
Yeah, you're crushing
and
it there
I was at all the shows, and I definitely tried to be at the clubs as much as I could. But I also knew that at some point I was going to have to slow down because it for me and my munchkin, it's a me and her kind of thing, where primarily, she has other support system, and me and her grandma work together. It's just one of those things where, me and grandma are holding it down, but it's not her grandma's job to raise her.
Yeah.
So I like to put her to bed. I like to make sure her stuff is together.
Yeah. So your question of sustainability, I think, is a lot longer than mine. I have a issue with sustainability literally like 3 days in a row. It's like if I did Vultures, I don't know who's on Tuesday, I don't know who's on Wednesday. But if I did like those 3 and combined, I have like 12 hours of sleep across those 3 days. I'm like, this is not sustainable. I can't be an effective
still
person
feel like
at
you're
work.
choosing to do something else.
100%.
Yes.
For now.
And I think that's fine.
Like once I
just
retire,
like the same thing. Like
so much easier.
but I think the only thing is, like, 'cause I feel like you and I are saying something similar for different reasons and different motives, right?
Yeah.
We're saying that we can't do this right now.
Yeah, and that is 1,000,000% what I'm
But
saying.
I do think, though, that at least just speaking for me, I love to make people laugh.
Yes.
I love learning how to do it. I love writing it. I love being bad at it and being good at it. And I like to be around people who enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to do with my free time. So when I don't have my munchkin, that's what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to be there, and I'm not, because I couldn't stay away even if I wanted to. This is the one thing that I enjoy more than being a mom. So if I didn't enjoy it, then I wouldn't be doing it, because I just don't have time to give to anything else.
Yeah.
But
so that going back and forth between your obligations and like what you truly love, you remember I've been trying to do this since 2006.
Yeah.
Is every couple of years you see me coming through, there's like, oh, is this now my time? But it's the balance of life.
You can't leave the military behind. I could be a trash parent and leave my kid behind.
And that's the truth.
But I'm not going to do that. Like,
unfortunately, the Air Force is number one.
You know what I mean?
Against
like,
the marriage, against the parenthood, definitely against.
It's a contract that you signed. You know what I mean? And I guess like realistically, it really just, how much does my relationship with my kid matter to me? Basically, is what it boils down to. I won't go to jail if I choose to do comedy and not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do understand that the stakes are a lot different for you. But I do think it's like, I don't think I could wait that long.
And you gotta think, it's been 2009 was the oh shit, the comedy has to take a backseat to this child support and me maintaining, because I never wanted my child support to go down. Is yes, I could leave the Air Force and we just figure out where the fuck the money's gonna come from. I was like, I'm never gonna do that. Even though I'm not in my son's life, the quality of his life is never gonna change on my behalf. It is always going to be either maintain or go higher. Yes. So that was unfortunately like, fuck, I'm going to have to figure out how to do a stand-up thing. And that's why I really love comedy right now, is I'm able to work on improv, interview, stuff like that. Is at the end of the day, once I get out of the Air Force, I would like to be a stand-up comedian who has a podcast, not a podcaster that does shitty comedy. Like that's the priority of my life. When I go to retire, I'll be going into college, have a lot more manageable hours doing that shit. I'm hoping, because right now the payoff's not there. It's like, ooh, I got a chuckle. It cost me 4 hours of my life, and I cannot think straight at work right now. That payoff's not there. As I value that chuckle, but it's not worth all the stuff that's attached to it. It's the economy of my time. Is you and I, we're doing our podcast. Yes. I have 7 days worth of fucking social media to work with. Cool.
Sure.
In those 2 or 3 days that I've sustained, I just barely polished a joke. I have no like workable information.
Sure.
So it's economy of time. Is I love doing stand-up comedy. I love the art of it. I love the anxiety, the fucking, you know, the 80-20 principles. 80% of the time this sucks. 20%, it's the best thing on earth. It's better than any drug I'll ever know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because of the tempo of what I'm doing, like you remember those 18 months I was gone. The last thing I did was bomb on stage.
Yeah.
So it's like right now, this isn't worth wringing my emotions out to get so little. So that's what I'm saying.
But I think that's kind of the exchange.
It's the sleep.
You know, I totally get it.
I will suffer for the art. I can't suffer at work.
But you're old now. You're old now, so you can't stay up all those hours, friend. Like that's just not for you anymore. And I appreciate that. I really do.
I hope you're still in the scene in 2027, because I might see how late you can stay up.
I am not going anywhere.
Good.
I will be
summer
here.
2027. We're gonna just stay up till fucking dawn.
Okay, don't mess around with me. I plan on being healthy and spry, and I
got a dunk tank. I'm trying to stay high
too. I plan on making my own schedule by then. By then, if I play my cards, because like my entire trajectory of my like professional future is completely built off of having freedom of time for my kid and for comedy. So that way I can do
How old is Sharon?
She's 10. So
Okay, so
as
you
she
got
gets
8 years,
like as she gets
yeah.
older, she's going to get more expensive, not just in money, but in time
Yeah.
and in demand. And it's not like teenagers aren't like, people always think you can just leave your teenagers alone, and it's like that's not, you're on call, friend.
You want them pregnant?
Like,
sure.
well, no, not even that. Like, even if you have a responsible teenager or a gamer who just likes to be at home, you know, like my little sister was more of a homebody. It's just like she would game with her friend, and she would go over to their house, and that was like, but then they would come over to our house, and that was the extent of the partying for them. Okay. And right now,
Woo, we got the Doritos.
you know what I mean? And now,
Wilding out.
now they're in Hawaii, working on their degree and being
Nice.
awesome. You know what I mean? But it's the emotional, something could be happening right now and they need you. And I want to be readily available for her.
Yeah.
And I can't be working for somebody else to do that. And I would like to be able to do comedy whenever I say I would like to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't mind. I want to be in the club as much as possible, but I also, I really like these weird shows. I love the novelty ones. Sometimes I don't particularly like to do, because it just throws me off, and I get really nervous, and then I don't perform as well as I want to because I'm just so nervous about like the.
So what would be an example of a weird show and a novelty show?
Sometimes like when I do the roasts, like I'll just get so nervous that and naturally I'm actually pretty quick, and I can get you pretty well. Like I was at work the other day.
Roast battles or roasts?
Roast battles.
Okay, okay.
My a kid that I work with, usually he wears his hat, and he wasn't wearing his hat, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Lit his ass up.
No, I was just like, you're showing a lot of forehead today. That's all I said. And his friend was like, oh, she said you had a big forehead. I said, no, that's not what I said. What I said was he was showing more than he usually does.
Cranial cleavage.
You say he got a big forehead. But as soon as it's like a show, I'm like, oh my God. And then I panic, and then I bomb because I'm just not comfortable and confident.
Yeah.
And so I don't always like those ones. But I like the weird breweries. I love the variety shows. I love drag variety shows.
Yeah.
Those
are getting big.
Oh, I love them. I've done a few.
With what's her
name? Oh my gosh, they're my people. Andrea Stone, she has the greatest lineups. I love her so much. I admire her from afar, but she is fabulous. And the drag community in Colorado Springs has been very kind to me and very good to me. Yeah. I've been able to do a couple of shows, and it's been it's a different vibe. It's not for everybody, and I don't think it should be for everybody.
Yeah.
I think that there is a vulnerability that we share that is not like anything else, and some people are not comfortable with that level of camaraderie and adoration for each other. And I don't think you have to be. I really don't think you have to be. I think that's totally fine. But I do love over the pandemic when it was like we were doing comedy at cars. Like, I don't think that the Buttermilk Boys are still together, but that was a great time where, we were yelling comedy, and like when people liked it, they would honk at us. Like that was so
That's
cool.
Awesome.
It was so different. I was like, oh my God. And some people don't like to do the different shows, but I'm always down.
And that's the scene I was at before this was the Philadelphia, New Jersey side of like the border.
Yeah.
It was this shows at my breweries and stuff. Now that I'm thinking about it, like that is what I like about Colorado Springs is you have your burlesque show. Up in Denver, there's a full nudity show.
Like expression. I think it's great.
A lot of body positivity here.
Which
is ironic because it's a really cold state. You'd think that like I am body positive, but I also freeze my ass off.
Don't even sleep on Colorado, okay? Denver has been so Duke Ellington called 5 Points the Harlem of the West because he felt more comfortable there than he did any place like west of the Mississippi, right?
Yeah.
Etta James loved Denver. Union Station was there. Like Condoleezza Rice, she went through a debutante society in Denver. Like the Black excellence in Denver goes hard. There's like, I love that there's little pockets of culture in Denver and in Colorado Springs. Like there's an Italian culture, there's a strong Irish culture, there's a Mexican culture, there's, you know, and there's a very strong Black presence too. Like 5 Points is one of the very first, like it was the only Black established neighborhood, and a lot of the economy was built off of the ingenuity of a Black woman. Like go to the African American Heritage Museum in Denver, all of the things. Go to the Pioneer Museum in Colorado Springs and go upstairs, all of the things. Pueblo was started by a Black man, and it was a post.
Pueblo,
Moving on. So Pam Sterner, she does comedy in
It's funny you mentioned
Pueblo.
that. Well, real quick, you mentioned when I was asking you when I first got here, barely knew. I was like, I heard there's open mic in Pueblo. Like, we don't go to Pueblo.
We don't go to Pueblo. We don't do Pueblo.
Literally, the first comedian I talked to was like, you get stabbed there, so I wouldn't go to that mic. Like, fuck.
I think dude. So. If it's Pam, or if when it was John Brown and Charlie McMullen, I think you were okay.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But
it was like 2019. Though.
I really feel like, though, in Pueblo, if you're looking for trouble, you're going to find it. Yeah. But if you mind your well-on business, you should be fine. Because if you don't look like you're going to be a problem, or if you look like you're going to be an issue to rob, they probably will leave you alone.
So I shouldn't
They're
be wearing
not
this
stupid
bullshit.
Criminals.
I shouldn't
Don't
wear my
do
bullshit.
that. Obviously not. Or if you do, at least look really, really intimidating. Look like you have death in your eyes, and they'll leave you alone.
Get over here.
All they want to know, it's like no. And here in Colorado Springs, a dude pulled out a sword. Like it gets crazy everywhere.
That's insane.
Still,
I do love it. Well, I love, kind of ties into what you're saying, is when people show up here first day, I'm like, you're gonna love it here. It's like, what are you into? Because literally anything you're into, they're meeting sometime this week or this month to do it. Are you a Dungeons and Dragons nerd? Here's all these
rallies.
Are you a stand-up comedian? Literally throw a rock in any direction, hit the brewery, go to the bathroom, look for the fucking poster on the fucking door.
We do. And I do like that our community contributes. Everybody's trying to get a room together. We're a little dry on open mics right now, but I don't think we're lacking for character right now. It's
looking, because I'm not really tapped into the open mic scene right now. It looks like so many comedians have gotten successful enough now. They're like, oh, I'm going to go do shows. And like, they just evaporated the fucking open mic scene.
Well, but at the same time, some have been getting so good. Like Luke Stem has been doing really well in Austin. Trenton Cotton has been doing great with Nate Jackson. Lou So, shout out to Lou So. She has 24K followers. Okay, like she is a powerful woman,
Did you
and
see
y'all better
measuring,
put some respect on her name.
They were measuring views on her Instagram in years. I think she has like 9 years total viewed on her.
I bet, because she is fabulous.
Yeah.
There's Callan Reese has also been doing absolutely phenomenal. Corey
I'm surprised
Deck
he hasn't
great
bounced out of the
too.
scene yet. Callan Reese is like, he's there.
He got his third eye open. Look out for Callan Reese, y'all, because he knows.
I know
what
he's
he's
hiding
doing.
something under that hair.
He knows what he's doing. Like, he's an assassin. He's gonna get stuff done.
I
And
think
you're gonna
once
be like, where'd he go?
Finally jumps out of the scene into something big.
Oh, he's already. I have so much admiration for a lot of the comics here, because they're just so great and their history is just crazy. Like Sarah B. Serious is another one. But I also I love women in comedy. Like I do. I admire all the men. I find all of the dudes to be just as funny. But
too many guys.
Well, I said it the last time. Like Wanda Sykes, leave your pussy at home is my favorite bit. Like that is so.
I don't know if I've heard that.
Funny. So she says.
We got 13 minutes left. So look at that red circle right there. Mm-hmm. That's actually the remaining time on the hard drive, unfortunately.
Okay. No.
Okay. So Wanda Sykes.
But she says it would be great if we went jogging at night and we just left your pussy at home because then, you know, it's gonna and I think that was so funny. I think Leslie Jones is hilarious. Ada Rodriguez is coming to the Denver Improv on 17th, January 17th. Come see her. She's phenomenal. She is so funny. Monique Marvez was at Looney's, and she is absolutely hilarious. She's got a great honesty about what like men and women are and how we are. Very Patrice O'Neill in her own way. Like she is razor sharp. Jocelyn Sharp, she is a beast. I love her, and she's great on social media too. Like she's got her little fitness journey, and I love that.
I used to hate how much social media dictated all this stuff, but now that I understand how to fucking do it, it's like, okay, what all do I need to learn to make this even better?
Yeah.
Is 100 followers in 4 months is literally what I was doing before.
I don't.
In 4 years.
I have a hard time sharing stuff. I don't even share stuff with people I know in real life.
Maybe I'll show you when we're done recording, like what I'm doing, because it's really fucking easy. It only costs you like $10. So.
I don't know. I gotta get more comfortable with it, but like there's a boundary that I have that I'm trying to figure out how to maintain. I'm not inviting you in my house. Like that's weird to me. I can't do it. Like I just feel like we're giving too much to people we don't know, and that just makes me super uncomfortable.
And the terrifying part is now there's people that are engaging my social media. I find out they're comedians with a bunch of mutual friends. Sight unseen, I'm bringing them in my house.
Yeah, like I don't love it. I just
Brent
don't love
McDaniel, never met that motherfucker.
Yeah,
got
just
it here,
like
crushed the podcast.
I love Brent though. I love Brent. He's like, okay, so
literally could have killed me behind my curtain.
y'all should hope you have the sex appeal of Brent McDaniel. Okay, he is so like subtle, confident. It is absurd. I tell him that all the time. I'm like, I told one of the comics, I was like, you should be really upset with yourself and really sad that you just are not as fuckable as Brent McDaniel. Because look at him. Look at him in the shoulders. No, it's just like it's like an inner confidence that you like, and I admire when people know who they are.
When we turned on the mic, it was like, okay, this is gonna be an easy episode.
And I admire that a lot in a person. Because I feel like a lot of the time I'm searching for who I am, even though I know who I am. So there's a duplicity kind of.
Yeah. I think I lack that confidence because I go off of vibe. It's like I knew relatively quickly that you and I would get along.
Yeah.
But there's some people's like, all right, if I go to their house not knowing their vibe and like try to do their podcast, all right, cool. Where's our ebb? Where's our flow?
Right.
Like,
right.
You know, what I absolutely loved about doing improv, and I'm thinking about doing that too, is once you find somebody you work with really well, like Colin Mockery and Ryan, Whose Line guys, they have 30 fucking years of material because like they found each other and they just crush every single fucking
and grooving.
time. Yeah,
I think improv. If you have not done one, you should definitely do it.
Improv's fun as fuck once you get out of your own head.
Yeah, I think it's so fun. It is very theatrical, so you have to be comfortable with being on.
And I love the body comfort because like you know me, I'm very just like man, it forces you to start move. Like if you're acting crazy, I got to start acting crazy. Like
you can't judge yourself, and I do like that.
Yeah.
There's a freedom that comes with it, and I do like that. But I think that's what makes comedy work is freedom. Yeah. You have to truly be open to the experience of whatever you're saying, whether or not the reaction is going to be good or bad. Yeah. And you just have to be cool with what's going on.
I think I like that it's in the moment. Is the stand-up anxiety is like, all right, I wrote this joke. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Is it going to be good? You spend the entire fucking week trying to, is it going to be bad? With improv, it's just like, all right, I'm throwing this out. Yeah. And if it works, it's great, fantastic. All right, there's a loveliness to it too. It's like, all right, that didn't work. I could go this angle.
You can change it up.
Yeah. Like with me, I'm so locked in my set. I'm like, well, that joke sucked. On to the next shitty joke.
I love that part. I love that part. I love the immediate no. Yeah. Sometimes I'm too long-winded, and like I feel like it is the communication that I've been begging people to give me in regular life. It's just immediate. You're just like, nope, don't like that. And I'm like, bet, I'll change what I just said like this. Like, it's just, I don't know. I guess I'm not afraid to be embarrassed either. But like you said, like I'll think about that bit all day, and I will be telling everybody, like, I have a new premise and I have to try this. Oh my God. Like, I'm writing it down. I'm like taking all the words out of it. And I'm so excited. I'm like, I cannot wait to deliver it because it's so good. And then like, and if I like it, like, I'm learning not to care if people who I don't like it. Cause you're not fun, like the same funny as me.
I have to work on.
You know, I think you're funny too, but we're just different funny. You know, but I think that it's all learning and it's all like absorbing balance, you know. But I do think if I was like if I didn't have a kid, I would be gone. Oh, I'd be gone. I'd be gone. I don't know.
You think you'd just sprung board to Austin or LA?
I don't think I would stay someplace very long. I just have a wanderlust, but I think I would end up back here.
But that makes you really strong. I was like, look at God, who the fuck is it? Stand up. He wears really weird like suit jackets. Luke Stam is essentially.
Oh, Doug Stanhope.
Yeah, he bounced
lovely.
city to city to city.
Yeah,
he's like a murderer. I could see that.
Well,
like,
I still want to do that. Like when she's older, you know, and like I want to take her all the places.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't want to go, she can stay home. But I would like to be successful enough to be able to, because I know my sister Lene, shout out Lene. I know she's gonna be a badass. Like she's gonna change the world. I know that. And I would like to be able to call any club in the city that she's in and be like, yo, my sister's in town. I would like to do a show. Can I? And then I'll have 2 reasons to go to that place. Like,
that's fucking awesome.
You know, I would like to be able to share my life with my family and do what I love to do, and not worry about extra issues.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to work from home so that way I can get my stuff together. But like
maybe a job in cybersecurity. Just tap into a laptop and make a shit ton of money.
Steal your stuff, guys.
So when I go back to school, actually starting school, really, that's what I'm getting into, cybersecurity, because that'll also give me freedom. It's like, all right, cool. I'm out of town. I could still make a shit ton of money helping people. So
yes, there's a comedian named Frankie P. I can never say his last name. I'm so sorry, Frankie.
Local person?
Yeah, he's a Looney Zone.
Okay.
But he does that. That's the point. Is he be working at home and then he does comedy and stuff. Yeah.
We'll see how much shit I'm talking like in 2027.
Yeah, we'll see
Judge
what the
me as a comedian
is
in 2027.
In 2027. Well, I won't judge you as a comedian then. I'll just judge you
probably as a podcast,
like a friend. You know what I mean? I won't.
Yeah.
I don't think I would ever be able to like judge or gauge you as a stand-up comedian. But
and now that I think about it, so before you retire from the military, you have to burn off your leave. They give you what's called terminal leave. In all honesty, you could start judging me as a comedian in the summer of 2026, because that's when I really start getting some freedom.
I just feel like as your friend, I'll judge your follow through, because that's what you're saying is like you're going to follow through this time.
Yeah.
So if you don't, I'm probably going to, as your friend, look at you like, friend, like what? But as a comedian, like I'm not going to decide for you when you decide to do it. Yeah. I'm just going to believe you. And when you get great, I'm going to tell you I think that's funny. And if it's not funny, you know, I will tell you I don't think it's funny.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. All right, we got a little over 4 minutes to go. Let's plug you said ElleBlexican on all the things. Yeah,
and look for the next Vultures Vixens. That's an all-lady comedy show at Vultures in Colorado Springs. 2100 East Platte Avenue, Colorado Springs.
You can go to your website page. You just got to get your old dates off there. Your dates, your 2024 dates still on there.
I'm sorry. I try really hard to update it, and I'm trying to get my life together. I really am. But that is usually where I put my my shows and where I have the next Vultures Vixens date. I share all of the stuff on on Instagram as well.
Sweet.
And Facebook sometimes, but mostly Instagram. So
sweet. And you can go to the links in the description of this video for anything else.
Should.
So.
Totally should. And you should in the words of Bailey Sarian, make good choices.
Yeah.
You know, don't go to jail. We've discussed why that's a bad idea. You know,
and don't hold on to teenagers' driver's license if you're going to kill them in your basement.
And don't call people's moms or dads sluts to their face. That is very rude and presumptuous because no. Because every time too, y'all like literally make me like have to think about, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to think about my parents boning, but like you're just like, they did it a lot. And I'm like, ew, I hope not. God. Trauma.
Isn't it creepy to think that like our grandparents were like passionately in love?
Oh, my grandpa was smacking my grandma's ass until they were old.
That's what
like,
I'm saying. Like they had some really nasty sex. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think about things like that. But, you know, I know they were in love. I draw the line there. Like, ew, don't be rubbing on nothing like that. You know.
It's all good. It was great seeing you for the 6th or 7th or 8th time.
Yeah.
So we can't wait 2 or 3 more years. So.
No, but I do think this is good.
It
so
is.
We should chat again soon.
Sounds like a plan. And it'll actually be posted Monday.
Monday. Hey, I'll be in hell on Monday. See you there.
I'll be on leave, so it'll be good. All righty. We
leave.
are out. Bye.
Bye.